Do these two moves look familiar to you guys?
Tonight his 17th appearance. Here is Nembhard crossing him over and scoring!
Not even the main ball handler at this point in time because the defense has been so aggressive.
Nembhard steps back, three-pointer, got him!
Of course they do, because the second clip is Andrew Nembhard, one of the best role players in the NBA, and someone we just saw in the NBA Finals last year. And the first clip, well, that's his younger brother, Ryan Nembhard. But unlike other siblings in the NBA, Ryan Nembhard wasn't gifted a roster spot. He wasn't even selected in the draft. He was too small, he wasn't athletic enough, and his shooting was a question mark. Well, 20 games into the season, and Ryan Nembhard is one of the best rookies in the NBA. And the Dallas Mavericks point guard of the future might be an undrafted 5'11", 22-year-old. Because whilst 29 other teams were focused on picking players based on potential and measurements, the Dallas Mavericks decided to pick someone with one very important skill. Listen closely. It's his ability to play basketball. Just like on this play, with a couple of minutes remaining and the Mavs looking to close out the Nuggets. Who has the ball in his hands to make a play? It's that undrafted rookie.
Nembhard. And Nembhard knocks it in.
This was from a game against Denver. In Denver, one of the hardest places in the NBA to win, in which he had 28 points, 10 assists on 0 turnovers, and 86% shooting. I don't care if you're a rookie, I don't care if you are Luka Doncic or LeBron James, those are the kind of numbers that almost no one in the NBA can put up, particularly in a road game against Denver. And this is one of those games where the Nuggets decided, you're an undrafted rookie, we're gonna test you. We know you can shoot a bit, but we're gonna play drop coverage on you and make you beat us with your scoring. Well, Ryan Nembhard did exactly that all game long. Like on this play where he gets the screen from AD, and with JV in drop coverage, look at him here, circle around, keeping Murray on his back before coming to a stop, pivoting back inside, and hitting the jumper. That's kind of like giving Jamal Murray a taste of his own medicine. Or this time where he gets the screen again, and with Jokic in drop, look at the burst of speed just to get where he needs to, and it's zero hesitation, rising straight up and knocking it down. And this has been the story of Nembhard's season so far. Entering the draft, no one questioned his playmaking. This is a guy who led college basketball in assists last year and did it efficiently, averaging nearly 10 assists a game to just 2.5 turnovers. The question was over his scoring. At 5'11", could he shoot well enough to put pressure on the defense? Because it's impossible to be a great playmaker if the defense isn't scared of you at all as a scorer. Well, so far this season, he's been insanely efficient, averaging nearly 9 points, nearly 5 assists on shooting splits of 56% from the field, 54% from 3, and 67% from the line. Although he has only taken a few free throw attempts. And this is exactly what you need to be able to do as a smaller guard. When teams want to play drop coverage against you, it is crucial you punish them. It is crucial you make them hesitate when making that decision. And when you're an undersized player in the NBA, it's not just about having a better skill set than everyone else. You have to think differently and work harder than everyone else. Fred VanVleet, TJ McConnell, Chris Paul. What do these guys have in common? They're all considered to be mad workers, and honestly, all of them are brutally honest with themselves and their teammates. Too much in the case of Chris Paul when you're on a team like the Clippers who don't want to win, but Ryan Nembhard is in that same category because even as a rookie, he said something that really stood out to me just a few days ago.
And then kind of like as a point guard on the floor when they're kind of fronting AD with the help behind, how do you even get a player like that the ball when they're running that type of coverage?
Flash the guy to the free throw line, throw it in time. There's different ways of getting the ball back. I think we're a little too focused on getting the ball. We could have done some other things and touched the paint.
Not only was he right, but the confidence. This isn't him trying to throw AD under the bus or any of that. This is just someone who wants the team to win, and if you are going to be the point guard, the leader of this team, you have to be unafraid to come out and say those kind of things. And he's already said that. And even before the draft, he had a quote that really stuck out to me. Whether that's get in as a later draft pick or a two-way, but whatever it is, eventually winners show who they are, and it just takes a little bit longer. I'm completely fine with whatever way it goes. We all know NBA players have a rational confidence, which is fine. That's how you become a world-class athlete. But I love when a player has that confidence, but he also has awareness and an understanding of what he needs to do to reach that level. I'm just saying, maybe D'Angelo Russell could take a leaf out of Ryan Nembhard's book. And the reason Ryan Nembhard has literally changed this Mavericks season is because he understands his role better than almost any rookie in the league. He'd pull up jumpers when the defense gives him space and set up his teammates without making mistakes, which he has been doing at an elite level. Just look at a play like this where he brings it up the floor. AD comes for the screen, he rejects it by going between his legs, he gets around Reeves, draws Vincent, and then throws a dime to Clay for the open three. Or just like here where he gets the screen out top, he sees Kawhi helping over and just the dime to Christie in the corner. Or again on this play where Gafford comes and slips the screen. And pause here, where do you think this ball is going? If you guessed he would quickly turn his head and throw an absolute dime to Klay Thompson, who hits the mythical no-dip three, then you would be correct. And this is what makes a PG great. Those subtle movements, that subtle recognition of when a player is helping over and when he can get someone open just with a feint of his head. And Ryan Nembhard does that so well. And when I say he's been setting up his teammates at an elite level, so far this season, Ryan Nembhard is averaging 4.8 assists to just 1.2 turnovers, which is basically identical to what he did in college, and for reference, is top 5 in the NBA. And unsurprisingly, only behind guys like TJ McConnell, Mike Conley, and Jamal Shead, who all have one thing in common. Yeah, when you are undersized, you need to do things differently. You don't have any mistakes to make, and Ryan Nembhard so far just isn't making any mistakes. And you know what has been the most impressive performance from him this season since becoming a starter? It wasn't the 28-10 versus Denver, or the 15-13 versus Miami. It was the fact he shot efficiently and didn't turn the ball over versus OKC. No, this is the realest test you can get to see if you're a legit NBA player. The greatest point guard ever literally said this about OKC. And yes, I know the Mavs lost, but so has every other team in the league. The fact Ryan Nembhard and Cooper Flagg looked somewhat comfortable against that defense might be a better sign than any other stat line he could put up. And it's a small glimpse, but it might be a sign that he can be a guy that can perform in the playoffs. And if you made it to the end of this video, in which I definitely sound sick, because I am, could you drop a like, subscribe to the channel? Have a great day. Bye.